what's coming out in April 2004. Hi, I'm Nick, and this is Required Reading on Retro Games with Nick. For today's episode of Required Reading, we are going to be looking at Computer Gaming World, as usual so far, for April 2004. And I'm always really excited about the 99 and the 2004 episodes, because, especially for 2004, I was playing games at this time. I know these games. I've seen these games before. I've played some of these games before. Freedom Force versus the Third Reich. Mwah, a little gem. Definitely series worth of the hidden gems tag when and if we ever played. Alright, so let's see. We have Battlefield Vietnam, which is probably unplayable anymore because of the. I'm sure that somebody is running some rogue servers, but this was the old Battlefield style, the one where you had like 128 players on giant maps facing each other. So cool, but we're not gonna put it on the list because I don't think we can really access it anymore anyway. Hitman contracts, eh. I really enjoyed the Hitman trilogy that they made starting in 2016. And I played a lot of the very first Hitman just because I got it for free as part of one of those magazines that I talked about in the past. Um, but like, the new ones I like, and I understand how to play them. These old ones never really gelled with me. Um, my vibe is like, nah, I don't actually want to put it on the list yet. Okay, here's an EverQuest expansion. We're not putting EverQuest on the list, because, you can't really play EverQuest like it was in 2004, so it doesn't really make sense. Far Cry, yeah, I guess we can put that on the list. I would probably just run natively, and I would actually get good distance at this point. Okay, so 2004, and our first entry is Far Cry. Completely different, by the way, if you're not aware, from Far Cry 3, 4, and onwards. Even 2, honestly. I haven't really dabbled into 2, but 2 is what really started the Far Cry formula. Far Cry 1 is really just a graphical showpiece for the Crytek engine. Um, if you remember Crysis, and this is already pretty old if you're watching this probably, but if you remember Crysis, Far Cry in 2004 is what Crysis was when it came out, probably like 10 years later. So it was beautiful game, open sandbox, kind of boring to play, all things considered. And just dropped it gorgeous. Lineage 2. I think the funny thing that we learned last time is that actually a lot of these MMOs that were advertised um, are still actually actively playable. I think the only one that shut down was City of Heroes that we saw last month. And even then, the Rogue server is now, quote unquote, official Rogue server is now up. So, wow, crazy man, how all of these MMOs managed to rewrite themselves as free to play. Alright, some hot Sims action. Ultima 10, we saw last month. This was supposed to be an Ultima MMO that got cancelled. Let yourself endure tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it was on the list last month, but let me add it. Let yourself endure tomorrow is a good game. Not as good as the original one. I like the original one more, I think. But the first Splinter Cell trilogy, so good. Okay, little blurbs about people. Magic the Gathering Online. People dunking on Shatner. These people have a lot of vitriol. Jeez. You're a hot Asian girl following an oversized cookie. What was that about innovation? What the fuck is wrong with people? What's the M word? Motherfucker, I guess? Yeah, okay. Send me the damn thing and I'll do a proper review about what's actually changed in the game. One of the things that's supposed to have been changed is the ability to place industries on your line, not to have them dictated to you by the scenario. This was completely left out of the review. It's interesting that they're publishing them, but they're not even responding to most things. Nemesis of the Roman Empire. This game does not ring, which is interesting. Let me do a cursory Google search to see what it's about. So, Nemesis of the Roman Empire. Video game. It's on Steam, seemingly, but not GOG. It's the sequel to Celtic Kings. Celtic Kings does ring a bell. I don't know why. Maybe because it came out right around the time that I got my gaming PC, so I must have been hooked into it. Yes, it's SAR people. Eventually moved on to the Tropico series. And they just did Check Alliance 3. Bulgarian video game studio. SAR does ring a bell. The Nemesis of the Roman Empire, real-time strategy playing game. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Goes on the list. No. Ads. This of the UT 2004. I don't even know that you can play this anymore. There's probably no more servers. It was fun while it lasted, but alright. 2004, the year of the gear. Oh yeah, we had read about this thing, right? This is the PC slash console that would automatically install patches and shit. I wonder whatever happened to it. Let me Google it. Console. It was never marketed, leading to suggest it was vaporware. Okay. Yeah, just vaporware stuff. Oh, crazy. Okay. Game deck, the ultimate geek cockpit. Zen Portable Media Center. Please download the video content. Yes, naughty stuff too. But the reality check that they do is always cute. Beyond Good and Evil, pretty good, all things considered. They were a lot further down on Deus Ex 2 than most things. Um, IGN has a bit of an A problem, it seems like. A lot more than GameSpot. For Speed Underground, Sense of Time, Gangland. And for E3, interestingly. True Crime. Streets of LA. Wait, what is this about? Response to True Crime, I was admitted that's unanimous. Some people called it a Grand Theft Auto clone. It won the Spike TV Awards gameplay. Oh, it's a PC port of it. Uh, Area tournament mod contest kind of thing. Well, people were really into Battlefield 1942. Redoing the Jedi's in Star Wars Galaxies. Unreal 2, the Unreal 2 house, Legend Entertainment was shut down. Half-Life 2 got delayed. The movies. God, I love the movies. The movies is so cool. Um, but let's put this in preview slash read. Maybe I should wait until it's an actual preview instead of a little blurb. But man, the movies are great. That this is a you're basically running your own studio lot in Hollywood, but you also get to like make fake short movies based on the style and the tech that you have and the actors that you have, and it was just very fun to play. It seems to. Mixing gaming with exercise, the kilowatt. Retro Ultima Online. Are you a jaded old school Ultima Online player? Do you pine for the good old days of classic UO, where risk was its own reward and going toe to toe with bloodthirsty player killers was a large part of the game's appeal? It's hilarious. People always claim for like vanilla versions of MMOs and shit. John Van Canningham speaks. PC Gaming Industry Series. Oh, he's the founder of New World Computing, Might Magic, and Heroes of Might Magic. And then 3DO purchased New World, and then he retired. It's big. They had over 100 people, which is like a large indie slash small studio for a AAA publisher these days. Hmm. Things never change, but the need for sales growth mandated by 3DO required us to make a new Might and Magic RPG and a new Heroes product every year, 7-10 months or less. Little time involvement with Run Magic 9. It would have never shipped. What's Magic 9? It's funny because I think in my mind Math and Magic 9 and Ultima 9 are mixing because both of them are known as atrocious endings of their respective series. Might and Magic 4 like to be the best game. Here's Might and Magic 3. Oh, oh, that's good. I still I we kind of have to try 2 if people said that 2 was even better than 3. Damn. There's gonna be a series posted soon on the channel, where I played through the tutorial and then a couple of the campaigns. And here's of Math and Magic 3. I've never really played through a full game of it before, and I can see why it works, and I can see why it's very addictive. It's a bit of the curse of the industry is that you can be very successful for a time, and then you either have to sell out to someone or crash and burn, and those are really the only two options. And if you sell out to someone, you will crash and burn anyways. Oh, that's cute. We actually read all of these now. 5 years ago. It's a pretty terrible cover. Oh, right. The style here is that they're just mocking themselves. Our readers would be disturbed while confronted by real life breasts instead of sharply polygonal ones for they bought games. Ugh. Scorpio read the most negative 4-star review in history for the classic Baldur's Gate. Could any other artistic treatment have so kindly and effectively screamed by this magazine? Well, maybe some ASCII art of a basket full of puppies, but other than that, no. Council Corner, Champions of Nora. Name that game. How many of these classics can you identify? Okay. Um, Pinball Big Race USA. Ultima, I'm gonna say 4, but it could be any of them. Man, maybe actually Ultima 6, because there's a little bit more color. This is a King's Quest. Okay, we're gonna go for franchises as opposed to specific games, because how the fuck would you even know? Command and Conquer. Pinball Big Race USA. Ultima. I went Mech Warrior for this one. This vibes to me as Smurfy. This I have no clue. This is war game bullshit. King's Quest. One of the I'm gonna guess this is Baldur's Gate. This is Fallout. This is Wasteland. Let's see. Baldur's Gate 1, we got it. Pro Pinball Big Race USA, got it. Crusader No Remorse. Dune 2. Yeah. Flight Simulator for Apple II is number 5. Jagged Alliance 2 is number 6. Tex Murphy 7. That's Tex Murphy game. King's Quest, of course. Mech Warrior, which I believe is what I said. Panzer General is 10. Sim Theme Park is 11. And Ultima 4 is number 12. Hall of Fame, XCOM, the original one. It's a timeless classic that many gamers would like to see updated and or redone. Well, say no more. Better things to watch and listen to. Kill Bill. Alright, let's get into the previews. Republic Commando. This is not the Battlefield like. This is still a single player game. And I think this one was pretty good. It just doesn't really appeal to me as much. The captions of all the screenshots, they're just cringe. They're just very cringe. It wasn't out of time, but Soldiers, Heroes of World War II. A rush taken a Commando series and Hidden Engines 2, with a little cannon fodder thrown in for good measure. Let you play the German. You know, I'm slightly interested. Let's add this to the list. Word. Das Vidania. Secret. Is Secret a good game? No. Do I personally have an attachment to it? Yes. I talked about this before, but when I was in my teens, again, fresh, having one of these, like gaming PCs, my first gaming PCs, there's this budget line that started being published where you could get every game for 15 euros, back at a time when a full game would be 60. And I guess the prices haven't really changed. And so, I bought more or less all of those. That's how I discovered things like Patrician the Third, Secret, Runaway, the adventure game by Pentala Studios, and a bunch of games like that. So I don't care that Secret is not a good game. It has a place in my heart enough to play it for like half an hour to an hour. Mythica, Hammer of the Gods. This is an MMO, isn't it? Patron God, Race. Into gameplay. Let's Google this one because I think it's an MMO. Yep. Oh, guess what? Never released. Unreleased MMOs. We're gonna keep track of all the MMOs throughout the time for sure. Um, I was reading as to what. Oh, I guess you can see the thing. Yeah. That's hilarious. Bad takes. Cancellation of the cinema is evidence that the massive multiplayer market has become saturated. 6 months later, World of Warcraft comes out. It's just that people needed something more palatable, right? If the like curve to get into the MMO is very steep, players will stick with the ones where they've already gone through that curve. What World of Warcraft did was to lower the entry barrier by a lot. Oh hey, Far Cry. I don't know if this counts as a preview. It's just a screenshot. And I assure you, it looks a lot better than the screenshot is giving the impression of. At least at the time, it felt like it looked a lot better. Maybe it hasn't aged well, but and these are like, see what got updated or changed, what got delayed. Call of Cthulhu, Dark Corners of the Earth, City of Heroes, Counter Strike Zero, EverQuest. It's cool that they have this listed. Matrix Online. Oh, hey, it's funny. Last 5 years ago, we were looking at Vampire the Masquerade Redemption. Now here is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Again, it does not count as a preview if there's just one screenshot. This is a squad-based game, whatever. Desert Rats versus Afrika Core. What's the game letting you play as Nazis back in the day? You know, it's the second game of the sort, but why not? Desert versus Afrika Core. Oh, okay. I want okay. Mm, yeah, this is good. City of Heroes, that's fine. Oh yeah, baby. Oh baby. Freedom Force versus the Third Reich. So Freedom Force is basically like, I don't even know how to describe the game. It's kind of like a turn-based RPG, except that each of your, and I guess that's ultimately what it is, because I think, if I remember correctly, you can pause at any time. But your characters, are superheroes and have superpowers. And the cool thing was that you could customize your own superheroes with the superpowers that you wanted to. 2002, the original game won Strategy Game of the Year. And also, the designs were so good. Like, look at the superhero, Sky King. And so, for the sequel, basically what happened is that the Freedom Force went back in time and fought the Nazis. That's about it. Honestly, I just love looking at this art and again, see how well they've adapted the art to real life gameplay. Like, look at fucking Killerilla. Isn't Killerilla some shit? Oh, Ken Levine. Ken Levine was in charge of this, huh? He's also improved the multiplayer. But yeah, excited to play this eventually at some point. Silent Storm. The spiritual heir to XCOM has at last arrived. Except for when they will actually remake XCOM a few years later, but... Silent Storm, huh? Destructible environments, new challenges will experience every new mission, rich level of strategizing. Need a powerful PC to run it. Yeah, these, by the time 2004 rolls around, we're playing these on my current machine with compatibility layers, because sci-fi elements, eh. Gorgeous World War II mod for the revered XCOM, not to be missed. Yeah. Inner pack content at full game price. One Must Fall Battlegrounds. Amanda's Clone, Korea Forgotten Conflict. Terminator 3 War of the Machines. Ooh, looks bad. Bit to rights. That was on that was an Xbox game, right? That they ported to PC. Trains. Hidden Sword. Committing seppuku on a PC like you. This is a Diablo-like. This could almost run on our emulated machine, though. That's funny. Throne of Darkness is a game that I have that I would like to look at again. Though I wonder if single player it's maybe not as fun, but it's sort of, it's basically Diablo 2 but samurai. Is the short pitch. Expansion for Civilization 3. Yeah. And gigantic scenarios, 15 new tribes, other additions and improvements. Worth adding to the list. Though I don't even know how I would be able to play just Civ 3 Conquests. I would probably just have to play the Ultimate Edition of Civ 3 these days. Magic the Gathering based fighting games? Shadowbane Rise of Chaos. This is an expansion. What the fuck is Shadowbane? That's one that I've never heard of before. Shadowbane. Free to play fantasy MMO. Oh. I was looking at this and I was like, this smells like an MMO, but I'd never heard of this game before. Black Hawk Down expansion. Vegas Tycoon. X-Men 7.4. Battle Engine Aquila. Not a lot of good games this month. Like, Freedom Force is fantastic. But there really wasn't a lot of great stuff otherwise. I guess back in the day, games really did mostly come out at the end of the year, even on PC. So we might be in for like a couple of meager months ahead of us. This is Dell. Let's look at how shit is. Surround sound. A what video card? Radeon 9800 XT. As usual, I don't know about the hardware to make any of this um, meaningful to me. It's cool though. They're showing you how to set up a SATA RAID alongside a standard EID hard drive. Hmm. So you have your OS somewhere and everything, separate drive, so they can't really access it, I guess. This, this fucking thing has not changed design in fucking 20 years. Components and all that. Should you be late today? iPod. Villainous what? Whoa. Revisionist history, man. It's true, people in the day. Well, I feel like people in the day respected MGS2 for being a good game, but did really hate Raiden's presence. Tom versus Bruce in Star Chamber. Ooh, what is this? Star Chamber is a cross between a collectible card game and a board game playable online only. They created a deck with $30. This is the first map. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, turn one. Takes a ship. I guess I don't really know this game. It made sense for me with heroes because at least I could understand that. But because this game, Star Chamber, is something I've never heard of, this is a little hard for me to read. We're gonna skip it today. Oh, Remnants of War. Scoop. Okay. Mm. And Scorch Earth as usual. I just hate it. Okay. And that is the end of this particular computer gaming world. I have to say this one was maybe a bit of a letdown, all things considered. I don't know for how long we went. I think yeah, only 40 minutes, a lot less than we typically take going over these and going down rabbit holes. I don't know if it's because some of those rabbit holes we only needed to go down the first time, and like now that when I see, where is it, Ultima 10 Odyssey, I'm like, oh, I know what this is, and I know what happened to it, so I don't need to spend 5 minutes going down a Wikipedia hole. But yeah, just not a lot of interesting games this month. I wrote down a whole bunch, but a whole bunch still comes out to only 9 between the ads and the previews and reviews. And I'm pretty sure that some of these I already had picked out last month. So, um, yeah, I mean, shorter episode today. It is what it is. Thank you for watching. This was Required Reading on Retro Games with Nick. Please make sure to check out my Twitch channel as well. Like and subscribe. Streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thursdays is dedicated Retro Night. Tuesday, I think, is probably Retro Night at this point. I'm trying to mixing things up. Partly because of the great success of my retro channel, so thank you for everybody who's been watching so far. And then on youtube.com/@gameswithnick, you can find my original channel, which is a little bit more about like full playthroughs of like games and series and things of the sort. Make sure to check that out as well. I am tinkering with the idea of companionship to required reading where we actually check out these games that I take notes about, instead of just, letting those notes lie in the YouTube comments and the YouTube description and then really doing anything about it. So maybe look forward to something like that premiering in the next month or two. In the meantime, um, next week we'll be back with some of the earlier stuff. I might always try and pack one of the 80s issues together with a different issue, just because there's really just not enough meat on those 80s issue bones for me and for my interest. So we're probably gonna do the 89 and the 94 issue of May, because we're gonna change a month, which means actually next week is gonna be probably a break for required reading, and we'll be back the first week of May with those two numbers. In any case, thank you for watching. This is Nick signing off and saying, let's keep retro playing together.